Was good, ballers? It's Jim's ballin' back again with the spread picks. So let's just hop right into it. You know how it goes, the picks against the spread. But before we can hop into week 13 picks, of course we gotta recap week 12, where I went 7-6, not really that good. 86-91 in the season, not that good. But hopefully we can bounce back this week. Thought the Steelers would be able to win, but nope, they lost. Thought the Patriots could keep it close. I mean, Drake May's been looking a little bit better, but I guess the Dolphins just always destroy the Patriots recently. Thought the Colts could keep it close, but I shouldn't be doubting the Lions anymore. These Chiefs games are always close, so always pick against them in the spread. Pretty easy pick there. I thought the Texans would destroy the Titans. Man, that's disappointing. The Bears, they did keep it close. The Buccaneers destroyed the Giants. Easy pick there. Thought the Commanders could destroy the Cowboys, and man, Commanders looking disappointing. Broncos, pretty easy pick there. Thought the Seahawks would win, so yep, good pick there. I originally thought Brock Purdy would be playing in this game, so I picked the 49ers, but with a backup quarterback in Lambeau, of course the Packers were going to win easily, so switch that pick. That was a good pick there. Thought the Rams could win, nope. And then the Ravens, they won, they took care of business. So 7-6, okay week. But now we're into week 13. So I'll give you my pick, and as always, I'll give you my final score for the game as well. That's how these go. Now this first game, got the Bears at the Lions on Thanksgiving. Now this is a pretty big spread, but the Lions have been dominating teams recently. You saw last week, I kind of doubted the Lions a little bit. Didn't think they'd do that spread, but I think I'm going to go with them this week. I think they get a good win, pretty easy win on Thanksgiving against the Bears. The Bears been looking a little bit better, but the Lions have been looking a lot better, looking like easily the best team in the league recently, so I got to go with them here. I really think Caleb Williams will struggle against this Lions defense. That's been looking really good. Hasn't allowed a touchdown in 10 quarters, so it's hard for me to see this Bears team putting up a lot of points, you know? So I'm going to go with the Lions. I think they're going to win 27-13. Next up, we got the Giants at the Cowboys. And man, this game should be it might end up being good. I don't know. I think it'll be maybe a little bit close, a little bit competitive, but low scoring, two bad teams playing against each other. I mean, I don't know. Maybe it'll be good. But I'm going to go with the Cowboys here. Kind of a small spread. They're at home. Maybe they can build off last week's win. And I'm going to go with the Cowboys to win 16-9. Lots of field goals. Next up, the Dolphins at the Packers. Thanksgiving night game. I think this could be an interesting game. Should be close, should be good. I'm going to go with the Dolphins here. I think they're either going to keep this game pretty close, or they might sneakily win this one. So I don't know, my gut's telling me to go with the Dolphins here. I think the Packers will end up winning the game, but only by a field goal, so we're going to go with the Dolphins here. I'm going to predict a final score of 27-24 Packers winning, but going with that Dolphins pick against the spread. Next up, we got the Raiders at the Chiefs, that Black Friday game. And come on, is there ever a question about these picks? Come on. For the Chiefs, you always pick against them in the spread. I still think the Chiefs will end up winning this game, but I think the Raiders will be able to cover that spread. 13.5 points, and these Chiefs always barely win. Come on. We're going to pick against that easily. I think the Chiefs will win 27-20, win by a touchdown, but that'll mean the Raiders will cover that spread. Next up, we got the Chargers at the Falcons, and it's just hard for me to have faith in this Falcons team right now. They're at home, but the Chargers have been looking really good recently. Been looking pretty competitive, been getting wins. That defense has been looking a little questionable for the Chargers. At the beginning of the season, it was looking like maybe the best defense in the league, but they played against some better teams. They were able to put up some points against the Chargers, and I think that'll happen again, but I think the Chargers will do enough, score enough points to win. The Falcons defense really isn't that good. I think it'll be kind of entertaining, but I'm going to go with the Chargers winning by a touchdown. So we're going to go with the Chargers here on this pick. I think the Chargers will win this one 31-24. Next up, we got the Steelers at the Bengals. And this is a little bit of a 50-50 game here. The Bengals actually being favorites is a little surprising considering the Steelers' good record, but considering they lost on the road against division opponent the Browns last week, that might be why people aren't having faith in the Steelers. But I think the Steelers will actually win this one. So I think the Steelers will actually win this one. So I'm going to pick them here. Just with the Bengals, they just haven't been getting wins. They've been losing some close games. The defense isn't that good. So I think the Steelers will put up enough points against them. And I think the Steelers will end up winning this one 23-21. Next up, we got the Cardinals at the Vikings. Now, my gut was kind of telling me to pick the Cardinals here, but just thinking about Kyler Murray, how he's been struggling last week and going up against a good Vikings defense, I don't think the Cardinals will put up that many points, and I think the Vikings will actually be able to cover the spread here. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings here. The Vikings are at home too, so I think the Vikings should win this one. I'm going with the Vikings 20-13. Next up, we got the Colts and the Patriots. Now, this is a pretty small spread, expected to be a pretty close game. But I'm gonna go with the Patriots here. I think the Patriots can get the upset. They're at home. The Colts have been struggling a little bit. I think Anthony Richardson will make just enough mistakes to allow the Pats to sneak by, barely get a win. So I'm gonna go with the Patriots here, 20-17. Next up, the Seahawks at the Jets. Now, don't really have a lot of faith in the Jets, let's be honest here. I mean, they've been losing games, been looking really disappointing. And the Seahawks coming off 2 big wins, and I think the Seahawks can build off of that. Really small spread, and I think the Seahawks will win, so I'm going with the Seahawks here. It might be a little bit of a close one, but I think the Jets, they just keep losing. I think they're gonna lose again. So I'm gonna go with the Seahawks here to get the win, 24-20. Next up, the Titans at the Commanders. Titans got an upset last week, and the Commanders fell to the really shitty Cowboys team. Really sad, disappointing loss for the Commanders. Commanders been sliding, struggling a bit, but I think this will be a get-right game for them. I think they'll win it, but it'll be closer than they'd want it to be. So my gut is really telling me to pick the Titans here against the spread, and I think I will. The Titans might actually be able to get an upset, get a win against the Commanders, since the Commanders been struggling. If the Commanders do win, I think they'll barely be able to win against the Titans. So I think the Titans here are a pretty safe pick, but I think the Commanders will end up winning this game 20-17, but going with the Titans. Next up, we got the Texans at the Jaguars. Now, this is looking like a pretty easy pick for the Texans, but I thought the Texans would win easily last week. And with Trevor Lawrence back, it looks like he's going to be back for the Jaguars. So I'm going to go with the Jaguars here to at least cover this spread. Just the Texans have been really disappointing. This is another division matchup. The Jaguars are at home, so I'm going to go with the Jaguars here. I still think the Texans will barely be able to win, but Texans have been looking really disappointing, but the Jaguars are pretty bad. If Mac Jones starts, then I don't know. I think I'd probably pick the Texans to win by maybe like a couple of touchdowns, but with Trevor Lawrence in, I think this actually might be a good close game. I'm gonna go with the Texans to win though, 24-23, but it's gonna be a close one. Next up, we got the Rams at the Saints. Now, the Rams looked disappointing last week, and the Saints coming off a bye week, so this should be an interesting one, kind of a close one. The Saints have been looking better past few weeks. The Rams been kind of up and down, kind of need that offense to click a little more, kind of need their defense to stop the run. I think Alvin Kamara will have a big game, be able to run pretty well against the Rams. Not as well as Saquon Barkley. We're not looking at like a over 200-yard performance, but he should go over 100 yards, and I think the Saints will actually be able to get the upset here against the Rams. They're at home and been looking better, so I think the Saints will actually win here. They'll cover that spread. Be a close one, kind of a good one, but I think the Saints will win this one 27-24. Next up, we got the Bucks at the Panthers, and the Panthers looked pretty good last week. Hanging with the Chiefs, almost sent it to overtime, but lost right at the end. And the Buccaneers, they just dominated the Giants. And the Buccaneers have been looking really good, and I think they're just going to keep stacking up wins, making a push for the playoffs here. Mike Evans is back. Baker Mayfield's baking. Bucky Irvin looking really good running. So I think the Buccaneers should be able to win pretty easily. The Panthers will put up some points, but the Buccaneers, I think they should win this one pretty easily, kind of dominate. I'm going to go with the Bucks winning 34-17. Next up, we got a really good one. Philadelphia Eagles at the Baltimore Ravens. The Eagles with a 9-2 record, been dominating, looking really good, hella good. And then the Ravens been a little up and down, struggling a little bit, but was able to get a good win against the Chargers last week. And I think with the Ravens at home, cross-conference game, I think the Ravens will do enough to win this one. That's the thing about these Ravens. They usually win these cross-conference games, but kind of struggle against their own division a bit. It's a little weird. But yeah, I'm going to go with the Ravens here. Really small spread, and I think the Ravens will win just by a field goal, but I think they'll win 31-28. Next up, we got the 49ers at the Bills, and I think Brock Purdy's back, but that doesn't really move me. The Bills coming off a bye week, coming off a big win against the Chiefs. I think they're just going to start stacking up wins, keep winning, keep looking really dominant. Josh Allen, it's kind of looking like he's going to win the MVP. That's what my gut's kind of telling me. I think he'll make that push this year. And just the 49ers been really injured, looking really defeated. Just don't really have faith in them. Even if Brock Purdy's back, just do we really believe in the 49ers right now? I don't. So I'm going to go with the Bills here. And I think they'll end up winning this game 31-17. And now for this last game, we got this Monday night game. We got the Browns at the Broncos, and Browns coming off a win. Do we have a lot of faith in them? Nah, not really. I don't know. I think the Broncos have been looking pretty good. Bo Nix looking pretty good. So I think the Broncos should be able to win this one kind of easily. I think they'll end up winning this one 24-13. So the Broncos will cover that spread. Total points, that'll add up to 37. And those are my 16 picks. Got a full slate of football this week. Crazy. But yeah, those are my spread picks. Haven't been doing that good this season. Maybe you should pick against me, but I don't know. Maybe this week will actually look pretty good. Yeah, thank you for watching. This has been Jim's Ballin', and I'll see you next time. Peace. Don't forget to like and subscribe.